It's just people doing things. They're doing the walk-ins, because now since WWE has their stars walk in the building on camera, they do the walk-ins also. But apparently we're to believe it. Tony Storm just, at least the walk-ins in the WWE many times are, you can tell it's earlier that day they came in the building, and then they'll have somebody walk all the way through and go out. But it's just Tony Storm. Here she comes, and Mercedes Mone comes in from the blind side and just jumps on her and shoved, because Tony Storm has Luther, the butler, with her, and Mercedes shoves Luther down, and he takes like a pratfall, and he's never seen again. Did she give him the fucking vibrating palm strike that the fucking Kung Fu masters gave Bruce Lee to, get even for him revealing the secrets? How does this grown adult 280-pound human waterbed of a man be fucking wiped out forever by the girl shoving him down? And then they fight into the arena, and they have a fake fight on the stage forever. And then finally, 6 male referees run out on the stage and are... Mercedes has the hold on Tony Storm and is cranking on her, and they're screaming, "Please stop! Please stop!" There's 6 men there. It's a 125-pound girl. Pull her off. But are they determined now to... Tony Storm is the only one they've got that's really over. Are they determined to just make her look like an idiot too? And she got saved by Mina Mellons. And Mercedes was so scared, she backed up 20 feet, grabbed the microphone, and made a little statement to him. And Mina was just squatting there next to Tony, like, "Oh, you hurt her." Why can't they close up any of the loopholes and any of the logic? I thought Mercedes had her own writer, Will Wheaton. Shouldn't he be staying up on...
It was Will Washington, and he wasn't her writer. He was Swerve's writer.
I thought she got her own writers, too.
Pepper Day.
I'm sorry. She has a writer, but I got the wrong writer. It's Alexandra Pepperday that's her writer. Shouldn't Pepperday be fucking staying up thinking about ways we can close the loopholes and all this fucking goofy logic?
Well, I don't know. Here's a loophole. Let me ask you about a loophole that may or may not close. If the rumors are true that Tony Khan sees the value in not bringing Chris Jericho back, does Luther come back?
Oh, good Lord. I forgot. Luther's not one of the Lollipop Guild. He was one of the Canadian contingent, right?
That's right, the Canadian friends.
Well, in that case, I don't... But, at the same time, Tony might think he'll be offended.
From the techs to the higher-ups in this company, everybody genuinely cares about each person.
Oh, boy, howdy. I got to tell you, the AEW program... Talking earlier in the program about the TNA agent reports and, how Mark Booker's book things. Marks like Russo, the previous generation Marks, and like Tony... They see all these moments in their head and these, wow, this would be great. So then MJF did a promo and the fans booed the shit out of him. But next week, he's going to be in a qualifying match where the winner goes into the men's casino gauntlet match at All In, where the winner of that gets a guaranteed title shot. MJF, another of their money ball players, if they have any, is in a meaningless casino bullshit match on pay-per-view because they're so creatively bereft at this point that they can't set up money matches for their tag team champions. They can't set up money matches for MJF. They can't set up money matches. All they can do is set up dream matches that the same people that like this kind of thing By every month, there is no growth, and they're running out of the dream matches. And then Mark Briscoe's music interrupted. And he actually came out and said, well, you're going long. I need to get in the ring for my match. And then he and MJF start going back and forth. And MJF calls him a blue-collar bitch. And Briscoe empathized with MJF. The fans actually chanted empathy because he feels insufficient with his little kosher pickle. And then the fans chant kosher pickle. This is a Saturday Night Live sketch. I think Mark Briscoe's great. I think MJF's great. But they come out, it went too long. They're being funny. The fans then amuse themselves by chanting about MJF's small penis. And then MVP says, let's just go watch Briscoe do what he does best, which is lose. So for the first time in history, Briscoe wins. He won a four-way, Brian. This is all interconnected. It's all the same thing going on. He won a four-way match versus Bandito, Roderick Strong, and Take a Shit for the number one spot in the Casino Gauntlet match. Which seems to me like that would be punishment to get the number one spot, because then you got to fight all the other guys. But who says this is supposed to fucking be in any way explicable? So what started at the first of that? Who was out first? Was it the baby faces?
Yeah, it depends on what you consider the start of that.
The babyface, underneath babyface team had a match which they won, and then they got the shit kicked out of them by the people that they're wrestling on the pay-per-view, who did a promo, who then were interrupted by the guy that was in the next match, and then that guy had a match and won the chance to be in another match. Any thoughts?
Very much like Mr. Show with the transitions from one thing right to another. You got to appreciate that. I hear what you're saying. MJF's a proven draw for them. Also, he's had great matches on big shows. Why isn't he in a high-profile match? If they did put him in one, it would kind of have to happen out of nowhere. The Hurt Syndicate, they can't put in one because they don't have opponents.
Well, really, MJF doesn't have an opponent either set up for him, and this MJF joining the Hurt Syndicate has been one of the only entertaining things, that have actually, for a wrestling fan instead of a fucking spot monkey on this show. But because their roster of baby faces is so weak and feckless and impotent and erectily dysfunctioned, there's nobody you want to see him fight.
So I think, unfortunately, he ends up in this Casino Gauntlet match, whatever that is, a ladder match. I think that's what it is. It's something. You have to retrieve something. I don't remember.
Oh, they got to grab the big poker chip.
Oh, that's right. It was a poker chip. If he wins it, it creates a good dynamic going forward with him and the Hurt Syndicate and him having this ability to get a title match anytime he wants, which obviously is a copy of Money in the Bank.
But then, which world champion would he want to wrestle for real? Moxley or fucking Page? He's sitting there going, which one of these two jack-offs do I think I get any kind of a match out of?
And the idea they're setting up something, at least it looks like, with him and Mark Briscoe, I don't want to get my hopes up. It could be promising. I mean, they booked Mark Briscoe so poorly, and I think, unfortunately, they get a little bit of false security that because he's over and we have him lose every week, we can do that with everyone we bring in now. Just book them, they'll lose, and eventually people will like them. But,
the feel sorry heat.
The MJF Hurt Syndicate stuff has been the highlight of the show, and in a lot of cases, the highest rated segment of the show. In a lot of cases, the Mystical match was the highest rated segments of that show. And it's almost like I said before, like the Codyverse. It exists like in a little universe of its own within the wider universe. If MJF all of a sudden has title demands abilities, he can get him as soon as he wants if he wins that match. it kind of ties him into the bigger picture. But again, who are the Hurt Syndicate gonna wrestle? That's the big question still, but we'll get there, I guess.
Miren esto, estamos en España y esto que es jamón ibérico.
And then, Brian, it came time for our main event of the evening. Is it just me, or is it a lot of people saying it on Twitter, that good old Frank Mortis is getting a lot more big main event matches now that he's publicly been seen going out and dating Mercedes Mone? Is there nepotism going on? Is he a nepo bull? What is that?
Would it be a nepo beast? I mean, why'd you go right to bull? He's the beast Mortis.
Well, he's wearing a bull head, isn't he? Or what head is that of an animal?
I don't know for sure, but I know it's a beast.
It might be a bison.
It could be a bison.
Well, no, think about this now. What kind of animal is that he's wearing the head of? Is it a bison? Is it a buffalo? Is it just a regular old bull? One of them big old humpback bulls down in Texas? And if so, is that the common thread that has linked these two little crazy kids and star-crossed lovers together? You got a bull, you got a camel. Is they made for each other?
Does he do promos? Have we ever heard him talk? Can he speak English? Or are you gonna get like
I don't know, but he can.
You're gonna get that Charlotte Andrade thing where it's like you can't imagine him ever having a conversation.
Well, but here's the thing. I want to hear him give a closing argument in Spanish, but with the bull head on his head. In gimmick, but because he's a lawyer, they've established this. He's a lawyer,
Frank.
So Frank the lawyer, I want him to dress up in full rigor mortis outfit here with the bull head and everything, and then give a closing argument in Spanish.
Man,
I think that would be fantastic.
to answer your question, I thought about it. I hate to say I did, but I obviously did. I thought about it a couple weeks ago. I thought about it during the Mexico show where he filled in for, it was like all the top heels in the company and him. It was like Death Riders, Young Bucks, and Beast Mortos. It's like, yeah, it does seem like since word came out that he was dating Mercedes Mone, and I can't wait to read the next issue of Mercedes Mone's Mone Mag for all the inside scoop on this.
Hey, this time she's not going to be lost in the fucking woods. She's going to be lost out in the bull pasture.
Well, it definitely seems noticeable now that, yeah, this guy's getting used in a very nice position for someone that is fine, I guess, for AEW mid-card.
Midnight at the Oasis, put your camel to bed. So Hangnail Page wrestled Frank Rigor Mortis in the main event, which ran, of course, past 10 o'clock because they all do. And then Page beat him with the buckshot. But then the lights went out. And the lights were out for a little while. I didn't time it exactly as to the number of seconds, but Brian, you can vouch for me. Tell me if I'm not depicting this correctly, but while the lights were out, the announcers were still talking. They were saying, folks, we're still on the air. The lights have gone out for some reason, right? You can hear the people murmuring in the arena. The audio is unmarred. It's exactly the same as it would be. We just got a black screen. Is that a fair appraisal?
Yeah, fair appraisal.
Okay, well then the lights come back on, and now in the middle of the ring where it's just been Paige standing there when the lights went off, now Paige is down on both knees, and there are Maddie and Nikki, the Hardley boys, holding each of his hands, ready to give him their little knee lift that they do. The problem is, in no time, during the time the lights were off, did you hear any struggle, any noise, any, who are you? Any, get down on your knees.
Bump.
Any suck it, bitch. Any bump, any struggle or conflict of any kind. total silence from the ring, and they've established all the microphones are still on. You can hear the people, you can hear everything.
I'm sorry, that's all my fault.
And then when the lights come back on, he's on his knees, he's looking up at him, and he goes, "Oh my God!" And they look at the people to milk it, and then they draw back, and then they give him the knee lift. He's a foot taller than either one of these guys. All he had to do, they're just holding his hands. All he had to do was stand up, jerk him off balance. Hey, come here, you little pricks. Bam. No wonder they get the shit kicked out of them every time they get in a fight. None of these fuckers know how to fight. But what was that? He just looks up horrified like, "Oh, don't do this to me," in 10 seconds.
Yeah, that face he made was ridiculous.
It was like they had guns pointed at him. But also, again, no effort to move. Oh my God, I can't imagine how painful this thing you're going to do to me in the next 14 seconds will be.
How did they get him down?
How'd they get him down?
Why did it make no noise? Why didn't he yell? Why didn't he yelp? Something. So, I mean, again, how did he get down? It took them a while. I know Tony loves it because ECW did it with the lights going out, but it's so lame, and all the stuff with the Bucks is lame, and that wasn't even the end of it. It somehow got worse.
Oh, yeah, well, then the music plays, and here comes Dick the Boozer and the Boar Horseman, except for Claudio, who's... I read on the internet, he asked for time off, but he's not injured. Maybe he's just fed up. I don't know. But they come out and get in the ring, and everybody stands there. Because Paige is selling dead from this shitty double knee lift. Again, these people are hit with chairs and thrown through furniture and dive off balconies, and they're up in seconds. But this little shitty knee lift from these two children that never connects anyway. And he's laying there dead. And the heels stand there until Moxley brings out a logging chain and puts it around Paige's neck and gets him in a stationary choke. Where he's not throttling him or shaking him around. There's no motion. He's just twisting it. And again, nobody trying to help. As we talked about earlier, it's either feast or famine. Either the security is there in a heartbeat, or they'll let people commit aggravated mayhem for 15 minutes. Well, this time we've established that there's not only a bunch of referees, but we've also established there's a bunch of security. That nobody came out until finally here comes Samoa Joe and Hobbs and Shapoopy. But they can't get in the ring because the heels are playing King of the Hill and won't let them in the ring. And then finally, Ospreay comes out, and suddenly he just dives right in, and the heels leave, and everybody stands around. Dives right in, and the heels leave, and everybody stands around. And everybody's mad at everybody. Nobody really remembers why. A lot of things take place. You can't process it all. There's matchups going on at the pay-per-view, but we still don't even know what is going to be the point of this briefcase. When they open the briefcase and the belt isn't there, is it going to lead us into some fabulous other dimension of creativity? What the fuck is going on here?
That would be interesting. They open the briefcase, there's nothing in there, and then Renee comes out wearing the briefcase, wearing the belt. Maybe they could do that.
I thought you were going to say Renee would come out of the briefcase. Now that I'd pay to see.
I don't know. That'd be pretty magical.
She did used to be a contortionist. In her younger days, she was able to be folded up into a small wallet and credit card holder.
I think despite people claiming that the Moxley title run has been a big success, people are ignoring the fact.
Who claimed that?
Oh, no. Dave Meltzer has claimed it. Other people have claimed it, that his title run has led to a business increase, not a business decrease. But it's been a complete creative failure. AEW fans hate it. And I think fans right now have their fingers crossed that hopefully we're in the last days of it, but
Well, but then we end up with Paige.
I'm not going to put money on that either. I'm not, we'll see what happens, but this stuff has got to go away. And then after that, we're going to get Paige in the Bucks because that's what we need. More of that shit.
Maybe they could program Paige with Mina Melon.
Nick Jackson has never looked like a wrestler. He's never looked less like a wrestler than he does right now. He has like no shape to him. His hair that was always receding has receded to a whole new degree right now. He looks ridiculous.
When you accidentally
he has to wear the full bodysuit like Randy Savage when he was on steroids. This guy wasn't on steroids. Imagine what it looks like. It's just not good.
When you accidentally drop a glob of face lotion in a sink of water, that type of indiscriminate shape where it just kind of floats around, that's what you're saying Nick Jackson's body looks like?
I think that's part of it, yeah. The fact that they can't talk, that the promos suck, that the fans don't have the right kind of heel reaction to them. I think there's a whole number of things, and yeah, I think they're going to double down on all that for one last run for all these people before their bodies break down and they're not worth what Tony's paying them.
Well, they've never been worth what Tony's paying him, but that hadn't stopped him before now. But again, if I was taking shit, I would say, okay, you're giving Okada how much, and you're giving Ibushi how much, and what about me, boss? I'm still young and able to fall down.
For real? I'd say if you want me to stay, you pay me now for my future.
Well, he's paying everybody else for their past.
That's right.
Wait, in what other place, I'll say this and we'll move along to if anybody watched this fiasco, but in what other company of any endeavor in the world can you actually get a lot of money, a guaranteed job, and a nice contract because you used to be good at the thing that they did 10 or 15 years ago? Where? How? When? Why?
Well, there are talentless executives who always get a second or third chance. A lot of it's about relationships, and of course, that's AEW's story. A lot of it's about relationships, but that was AEW Dynamite.
Hey, that guy used to be great 20 years ago. Let's fucking put him on the team.
This is a nice setup you have here. Oh, nice. Nice.
A lot of people ask how NICE became the leader in AI-powered experience. And yes, we have an incredible AI platform, but honestly, our secret sauce is hell.
Kristen has an abnormally high baseline for niceness. We tested it repeatedly.
I love meeting people.
It's a package described, but you can't find it. Ooh, a mystery.
It's Trump, but given away.
And you're at home? Even better. Your friend is late for lunch.
No, I was early. That's on me.
Driving too slow.
They probably have a birthday cake in the back. Driving too fast. They probably have a pregnant woman in the back.
You've now been on hold for 45 minutes.
Jamming to royalty-free music, babe. Thank God I had toilet paper. And if I hadn't lost that job, I would have never started hosting.
She